So Donny Cates is leaving Venom forever. Ever. The last book. This is what he says. And Spider-Man, a new comic series, has just been announced. Hit the like button while the intro plays, and we'll talk about it. All right, so news broke earlier in the week that Venom number 200 is going to be Donny Cates' final book on the Venom run. Now, it was speculated for a short period that this was just the final duo of Stegman and Cates working together on Venom, and he might continue his run on this Venom. No, it is done. Donny Cates put out a tweet that says, seen a lot of confusion about this, so I just wanted to clarify. Yes, Venom number 200 will be my last issue writing Venom. Period, ever, period. Thank you all for supporting us, blah, 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 blah. Now, more info to come. Now, I've seen a couple things where people are like, well, Venom 200, man, that's a long time away. In comic years, if we're getting 12 issues in a year, you're talking over a decade. So what's the big deal? However, let's stand back and realize they're talking about legacy numbers. So Venom number 32, that issue is legacy number 197. So that means we're only getting 198, 199, 200. That's 3 more issues on the Venom run. And obviously that's excluding the King in Black run. But that's it. It's done. He is off of Venom. And it's very interesting to me because he kind of jumped off of Twitter for a little bit. I know there were some family issues or whatever. But I'm not speculating about that. But they're saying this was planned. Venom 200 was always going to be the final mark. And so that's cool, man. You know, they hit the 200. They told their story they wanted to tell. It has obviously been one of the most talked about runs probably in the last decade or two. So Donny Cates, man, he did his thing on Venom. He's doing his thing on Thor. He's done it a lot of other places. But what is next for Donny? People are saying, oh, is he going to DC? Because he was kind of friendly with Jim Lee over the last year or two. Saw him at some cons and stuff. Is there going to be the big DC Marvel crossover? Is that what was going to happen? I don't know. Nobody knows. I'm hoping maybe he hits up Amazing Spider-Man. I would love to really jump on that and really start to enjoy that. But that came out yesterday. He put out that tweet saying, this is it. We're done. No confusion. It is over. And then just a few hours ago, as the time of recording this, actually 51 minutes ago to the second I'm recording this, for anyone wondering about Stegman and me leaving the Venom title, this is the podcast for you. We'll answer any questions. It'll be fun. Send questions to the Stegman Show. So Ryan Stegman obviously does his YouTube channel or his podcast, and he's going to have Donny Cates on there, and they're going to talk all things King in Black 3 and his Venom run, and they're going to answer most of the questions they provide. So if you want to get more detail on this, go listen to the podcast. That's where you're going to get it straight from the source, not the weird websites like, well, I don't want to name them. You know what I'm talking about, where they speculate all of these weird things, and it's just awful. But congratulations to those guys. Made a successful run on Venom. And then, you know, we have things like Thor. I mean, what is he going to do with Thor? That arc right there, so good. I think Thor might be better than the Venom run so far. All that to say, Donny, you know, did a good job on Venom. I think people loved it. But let's talk about the newly announced Spider-Man Story by probably one of the best Spider-Man writers in this form factor. All right, and so on the same day, they announced Venom 200 was going to be it for Donny. The new Spider-Man Story was announced. It's coming from none other than Chip Zdarsky. Now, if you're not familiar with Chip Zdarsky, get familiar with him. He's done some amazing indie titles, and his work on Daredevil has been just wonderful. People have probably loved that just as much as any other books over the last couple of years since he's been on that run. And he's also the famous writer for Spider-Man Life Story, the comic book that has made many grown men cry when it comes to the end. So what is this new Spider-Man story? So it's the what-if formula, basically, with Spider-Man becoming Venom. It's going to have Chip Zdarsky and Pasquale Ferry writing a dark new chapter for Peter Parker's history. Now, Chip Zdarsky put out basically a retweet from the Spider-Man account. It says, what if Peter Parker became Venom? It tags everything in there, and it says they're going to bring you a tale of Peter Parker on the edge in Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow. More detail here, so we'll talk about that in a minute, and they show some photos that I'll throw up And Chip Zdarsky then commented, "This is something we've been working on for quite a while, a chance to reinvent the What If brand, telling longer stories with the best artists. We think you'll like it." So I'm pretty excited about that. I know the What If series is coming to Disney Plus, so they're going to definitely want to capitalize on that, obviously. And, you know, this is going to be very interesting. I like the idea of it. And it's going to come out in April. And this is supposedly a story like none other. All right, and the cover is by Phil Noto. All right, so the way they're describing this is Peter Parker once put an alien suit that nearly destroyed his life. But what if he'd never taken it off? Ignoring every warning, Spidey embraces the dark symbiote. Haunted by terrible nightmares and exhausted by an endless barrage of bad guys, Peter can't seem to catch a break these days. So when the Hobgoblin attacks, he finds a hero at the end of his rope. And vulnerable to new dark impulses, Spider-Man is about to change his rules. But is it truly Peter Parker who is in charge? So they're putting out a lot of images here. Basically, this is the kickoff of the new What If era. So very interesting here. Not so sure. You know, I'll probably pick up one or two. I do like the idea of the black suit Spider-Man and all of that stuff. I did enjoy the symbiote spider runs that have been coming out. I just don't know if this one's going to be for me. The artwork looks a little campy, but that's fine. I think a lot of people will genuinely like it. And, you know, this may be one where I end up picking up in trade or digitally. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, that's two pretty big changes coming out. Or one pretty big change, one pretty big announcement with Zdarsky taking on Spider-Man. And Venom's done with. So what is the future? I think at the end of the day, a lot of people want to know what is the future for Donny Cates in comics with Marvel or DC or whoever. And, you know, he's not going anywhere. He's still going to be writing comics, but who is it going to be for? What books are going to be there? We will find out likely tomorrow, or when I upload this, likely today on that podcast. And maybe if some stuff on there's dropped, I'll do a follow-up and do some discussion on that. But I'm excited about the end of Venom and what's going to be coming after that point, and then this Spider-Man story. I think it'll be interesting, and if this is kind of your thing, definitely put it on your pull list, because I'm sure there will be a lot of hype about this one for sure. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for being the best part of Two Brothers Comics. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button, smash the like for us. It helps out a lot. And guys, as always, collect your way.